Hi everybody, it's me, Crafty Witch, and welcome back to my channel. I watched a video by Hedge Witch Magic, and I did respond in text comments to her, and then after I thought, well, maybe I better make a video because I'm sure there's other folks out there in the world with the same question. How come there's so few resources, academic style resources out there about Wicca and witchcraft and paganism in general? You know what, for the most part, when you go into a bookstore, even in a library, a lot of the books that are on the shelves these days that pertain to Wicca and witchcraft are not academic sources. They are not academic quality. They are people sharing their own personal experiences, their own spiritual path. In my own opinion, I would say about 98% of the books that are on the shelves on, Wicca, witchcraft, paganism are non-academic books. Does that make them all bad? Of course not, but yeah, if you want something academic, I would suggest maybe start to research ancient goddess beliefs, ancient goddess cultures, ancient goddess cults, whatever. You would probably have more luck finding relevant information if you tackled your research perhaps from a different perspective. This is one of my favorite all-time books. Sorry for the glare. It is an academic book. It's an incredible, wonderful book, and anybody who has the chance to get it, by all means get it. You want a historical perspective that translates and relates to the modern day goddess movement, if you will. This is definitely an awesome book to get. It's called The Once and Future Goddess, a sweeping visual chronicle of the sacred female and her reemergence in the cultural mythology of our time, and it's written by Eleanor W. Gedon. And I don't know if I said her name right, probably not. But it's an incredible book. It's about 40, well, I bought this a few years ago, and at the time I paid $42.50 Canadian for it. So, but it's so worth it. If anybody has a chance to get this book, by all means do. She covers, ancient history in here to the modern day influences of goddess spirituality in art, entertainment, things like that, even in advertising. It's a good book. She, shows artwork and all kinds of funky stuff. It's awesome. It's just one of those really good books to have. And even the god, he's in here too. This one dates back to the 2nd century BCE. And, she just talks about the relevance of and how things evolved through time. It's a good book. And this I thought was so neat, okay? This is a wall plaque done in terracotta, and it's from Mesopotamia, and it's called The Lovers Embracing on Bed, and it dates back to 2000 to 1600 BCE. What I find so interesting about this is so many of us, when we make our altars, right, the goddess typically is on the left side, the god is on the right, and we find that here. Now, I'm not saying it's directly related to this. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I find it very interesting that the female is on the left, the male is on the right, and it makes sense. This book, The Goddess's Mirror, Visions of the Divine from East and West, it's by David Kinsley. This was actually assigned to us when I was going to the University of Regina here in Saskatchewan. I took some religious studies classes and things like that, and this is one of the books that our prof assigned to us. It is not based on Wicca or witchcraft per se, but it looks at goddesses from various cultures. Women who run with the wolves, Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, PhD. She is a psychoanalyst. She's also a scholar. It's not like an academic style kind of like research book like this, but really you got to read it. It's really an interesting read. She talks about different myths and stories and legends about goddesses and women. It has different levels of meaning to it, right? But please check it out. It's a good read. It's different. Again, not about Wicca, not about witchcraft per se, but it's about goddesses and the divine feminine, I guess, that's within all of us, sort of thing. It's a good book. Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler. Witches, Druids, Goddess Worshippers, and Other Pagans in America Today. Revised and Expanded Edition. This is an older edition that I have. It was originally written in 1979. This edition that I have is from 1986. It's a bit outdated, yes, I know. But it's a good book. You know, she does give information. She does include notes. Talks about different things and whatnot in here. Not academic like this. You know, she talks about different things. Other witches she talks about. I think she even talks about Z Budapest in here. Margaret Murray, Gerald Gardner. Check it out. It's considered to be a classic, and a lot of people will cite her. A lot of people will cite this particular book as well. So, by all means, please check it out. A Witch's Bible, The Complete Witch's Handbook by Janet and Stuart Farr. This book is not academic in the sense of, say, a book like this, but it does provide a lot of information, and they do cite different resources and other folks, and it's a good book. It's considered to be another classic, I guess, if you will. Another one, Starhawk, The Spiral Dance, A Rebirth of the Ancient Religion of the Great Goddess. This is the 10th anniversary edition. It's been revised and updated. Now, she originally wrote this book in 1979, and this is the one I got. It's from 1989. Not academic in the sense of, say, that book again, but she does talk about, she's got her rituals and things like that, but she does also cite other pagans and other folks in here too. She does include 10 years later, commentary on chapters 1 through 13, notes, and, she'll talk about how, back in 1979 she may have used certain words or terminology that she would not use back in 1989, sort of thing. Times progress, people change, things change and evolve and whatnot. Yeah, it's an interesting book, so by all means, if you can, check it out, give it a read. Again, not academic in that sense, probably not maybe quite what you're looking for, but it's also considered to be one of those classic books, right, to read. But this is my favorite. Yeah, you would probably, like I said before, you'd probably have more of a chance finding something if you started researching academic books with regards to, ancient goddesses, goddess worship, goddess cultures, things along those lines. You would probably find a lot more out there. And how is that relevant to witchcraft? Well, we incorporate the goddess into our belief system, right? So it's very relevant. It's not on witchcraft per se, it's not on Wicca per se, but it's definitely very relevant to one's path if they choose to follow that path, right? So anyway, that's that. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. Ciao.